Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we've got the new BFA dungeon, the Motherlode here. So let's go over the boss fights and their abilities so we can best counter them and start doing that Mythic Plus as soon as possible. Now the first boss here is the Coin-operated Crowd Pummeler. The first thing that you have to note with him is he does do a cast called Static Pulse. This is unavoidable magic damage that is going to knock you back. So after this goes out, just move back into position and get back to tanking the boss. Another ability that he casts is Shocking Claw, which is a frontal cone magic damaging ability with a stun as well. But as soon as he starts casting this, he's actually locked into place. So as soon as you see Shocking Claw going out, just sidestep and avoid it, don't be in front of the boss, and you won't be taking this damage and stun. The third ability that we will have here, and probably the main reason why a group will wipe, is the Foot Bomb Launcher. This boss will launch multiple bombs on the ground, and after 15 seconds they will explode. After they explode, they're going to put a debuff on all players in the group, increasing the damage they take by 50% per stack. Now what you need to do in order to counter this mechanic is run over to the bomb just like this, and you can see here that there's an arrow indicating where the bomb will launch, and you actually want to kick every single bomb onto the boss. This will make the boss take the exploding damage from the bomb and the stacking debuff as well, meaning you can nuke the boss down right after this. Now if you are running this dungeon on heroic or mythic level difficulty, there is one other thing you have to be aware of, and that is throughout the fight, piles of gold will start coming out around the boss. The boss will periodically pick up all of these piles of gold and actually buff his damage by 10% per pile of gold. Now the catch is the boss needs to be within 15 yards of the pile of gold in order to pick it up. So as soon as you see this gold going out, move the boss at least 15 yards away from the closest pile of gold, and the boss won't be able to pick them up and you have nothing to worry about. Up next is Azerokk. Now this boss does come with 4 adds at the beginning. You are going to have some totems here on the left, so you can actually grab those totems and it'll help you CC some of the adds, but eventually the adds will break out and you do have to nuke them down. So these adds will periodically target DPS or healers in your group and start chasing them. If you are being targeted by one of these adds, you do want to snare it as much as possible because it does put a stacking bleed on you. And eventually the boss will cast Azerite Infusion. That means he will buff one of these adds, increasing damage done, but also increasing damage taken. So when you see one of the adds get buffed and look like this, what you want to do is nuke that add down as quickly as possible. Also, an infused add will break out of any CC applied to it, but you can actually cleave all of the adds down if you'd like to and nuke them all down at the same time. Now the boss will periodically summon more adds slowly, but the boss resummoning adds is independent of how fast you take them down, so take care of the adds first and then move on to the boss. Now the boss will also cast something called Resonant Pulse, which will make all of the adds around cast an AoE. When Resonant Pulse goes out from the boss onto the adds, you do want to interrupt these adds, so either interrupt, stun, or knock back all of these adds to make sure that they stop casting, because all 4 of these adds casting the AoE at the same time will tick very quickly on your group and can lead to a wipe. Now on heroic and mythic level difficulty, this boss also has a frontal cone ability called Tectonic Smash. The good thing about it is that once the boss starts casting this, he is locked into position, so as soon as you see this cast going out, sidestep and avoid it, do not be in front of the boss. The third boss in this dungeon is Rixxa Fluxflame. Something that she does periodically throughout the fight is she actually debuffs 2 different targets with a spell called Chemical Burn. You do want to cleanse one of these off since it is a high amount of damage, and then heal through the second one. Something else that happens throughout this fight is that she will actually spray out pools of Azerite on the ground underneath players, and that player just needs to run out of it, do not stand in it. It does do high damage. Now something else that she does do is she starts a blasting phase in which she faces a certain direction and starts a blast that looks just like this. This blast will knock players back and deal high amounts of damage. But at the same time, this will be cleansing the pools on the ground. So players should avoid standing in front of this blast, but if you are running out of space, try to get her to face in the direction where there is a lot of pools so as she does clear them out. Now on heroic and mythic level difficulty, there are pipes around the island that you are in that will begin activating, and you can see them activating just like this. After a few seconds of them lighting up, they will spew out a big line of azerite across the island that you're standing in. So just make sure that when you see a pipe lighting up, step away from it and do not stand within that line of fire. The last boss in this dungeon is Mogul Raz Dunk. Now during the first phase, what this boss does is cast Homing Missile. This will target one person, preferably a ranged or a healer, and will start chasing them down. This missile will not be able to hit anyone else, and once it hits the target, it'll actually put a debuff on everyone within 20 yards of that target. So whoever is being targeted by this missile, make sure you run out and get away from everyone else to minimize the damage. The other ability that does happen in this first phase is the Gatling Gun, in which the boss will slowly spin and shoot in a frontal cone, so make sure you move around the boss and avoid that damage. Now at 50% HP, the boss will go up and start taking 99% reduced damage, will spawn 2 adds, and rockets will actually hit the ground in the form of these giant red circles on the ground. So do not stand in this fire and actually nuke both of the adds down as quickly as possible. Now after the rockets land on the ground, they will be poking out and look like a totem pole just like this. And what you need to do is, if the boss targets you with an arrow on top of your head, you need to run over to the rocket, stack on top of it, and when the boss moves over on top of you, move out to dodge the damage, and the boss will actually break his shield by slamming onto the rockets. Now if you are running this boss on heroic or mythic level difficulty, the boss will spawn 2 Boombas periodically throughout the fight, which will go out to different edges of the room. Now it is important that you know exactly where they are facing, because these Boombas will actually carpet bomb in a line in front of them on the platform that you're standing on. So what you need to do is look at which direction they're facing and move out of the way so that these bombs do not hit you at all. That is going to do it for the Motherlode for normal, heroic, and mythic level difficulty. If you like my content, like what I do, and want to help support the channel, go ahead and visit my Patreon down below. I do also stream every Wednesday and Friday, so give me a follow on your favorite platform. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, good luck out there.